What's up, everybody? Especially to you, my brother Junior. How's it? How's it? How's it? This is Zaldi. Welcome back to the final talking story about smoking session. This one is called Next. Last session 25 was reflections. Simply, you absorb what I said from all the previous sessions. You listen to me speak now about it and put yourself in my shoes. And now you truly are anxious to share with me your reflections. Not like I can watch your every move. You may not have had your last cigarette already. So, I can maybe say you actually have reflections about this already. We can reflect on this whole journey summed up from the Chinese curse. The Chinese curse is for nothing good to happen to you and nothing bad to happen to you too. Let that sink in for a minute. I understand curse for nothing good to happen, but nothing bad. Smoking is bad. That happened. Now that I don't smoke, I am even better than I was before I even smoked because I overcame this huge, long, drawn out struggle, and I'm still using this victory as a template to conquer other obstacles. Logically, you understand now how much power this hypnotherapist, Uncle Carr, and these talking story sessions can be. Some people don't know the effective and life-changing resources exist. They're losing money. They're losing life. In a moment, not just yet, but soon in a little while, you too will know when quitting smoking for good has been the most biggest accomplishment you have ever tackled. This hill you have climbed is the most massive one of your whole life. Because of that, this will be an experience with the most major reward gains you'll ever experience. Which brings me to my next point. I understand that you want to share the book with everybody you know that still smoke. That is exactly how I felt. To have the knowledge of something so good, which is not going to cost anything except the cost of the book. However, these sessions is small kind different. This is personal. I've shed my blood, sweat, and tears on this one with my stories. I even sang on top of the crying. But somebody else might catch on to this that can also save hundreds of thousands of dollars and hundreds of thousands of hours. Now that you are quit and stay quit for good, you're seeing smokers differently and you really want to help them. Well, tell them about the book. But if you trust them and willing for them to be part of our small kind talking story about smoking hui with Princess Puanani on the shoulder, then yeah, go share with them these talking story sessions about smoking. I like them quit too. What I don't want is me being a target from the Tarakun you gave this to, just wanting to critique and cry about what I said that hurt their feelings or whatever. Another reason I want you to be sparing to who you share this session is because the smaller the talking story hui, the more focused, effective, and powerful it will be for us to do the next session. Junior, let's keep this hui tight. I know I stay sending this to you first, then to Pod and Marcones, and then to all the people I've mentioned in these sessions. That's only fair. But if you sent this session to a Tarakun, just tell them it is your fault and you sent it to them by mistake. Now that we got that off my chest, I want to crack open a little about how this started. As you already know, I got my degree in computer science. My capstone event was to either A, make a small computer program with its full life cycle and support documentation, or B, write a 30 to 50 page paper with citations as long as it was dealing with computer science. I felt a super strong conviction to attempt to write that paper. Before you know it, I realized that 50 pages was the max. I had to condense my paper to only 50 pages. I had so much to write about and so much to say. It was about my experience in my technical profession, how it started, and where it took me. It was so cathartic. It doesn't mean it came from the land of Qatar, cathartic, you porgy, from Google. Cathartic or cathartic means providing psychological relief through the open expression of strong emotions, causing catharsis. Here's an example. Crying is a cathartic release. Just like that paper, these sessions are cathartic to me. Not cathartic, but cathartic. Since I quit, my thinker was unleashed. You may see that your thinker and thinking cap has released the trailer and is just plowing through. Not going crazy kind and going any kind, but just surging, looking for a place to land. When you quit smoking, you captured your life as a smoker, all of its sight, sound, feeling, and put it all on one screen and smushed it into a meme. Look at that meme now on your phone. Swipe left. Look at what's in front of you now. You have a new story. Jane, as you already know, left over here in beautiful Colorado Springs to go back to Hawaii because she has her own new story to create. She's now experienced a new job, new relationship, and new adventures. In fact, she's still using my surfboard to make new stories. So, as you view that new meme of your new life, consider what happened to me when I used to live by Lake Wilson in Wahiawa. That invasive Salvinia molesta dumped from somebody's little fish tank started off small. Looked pretty cool because it was small kind lily pads until it didn't look cool. It covered the whole lake and was about to get out of control because it was coming summertime and the thing just multiplied like crazy. From my perspective, all I saw from as far left and as far right as I could see, the whole lake was covered in these lily pads. In fact, one boat was going across and I took a picture of it because it looked like a boat in the middle of a big, flat, grassy football field. Except it was just one boat in the middle of all this Salvinia molesta. That summer, the Department of Land and Natural Resources got involved and brought a crane to scoop it out. If they didn't, it would compound and grow like mad and pretty much kill a lot of the aquatic life. 3 weeks of day and night clearing is all it took. That is how long it's going to take for you to be in the clear. Now, it leads me to my final point of this whole reason I started this session and these subsequent sessions. I believe in talking stories. By now, you probably already know that this whole thing has been a hypnotic ride. From the book, Frogs into Princes, description below, Bandler was quoting something Milton Erickson said. A quote within a quote. How neat. This is in regards to a boy who had some serious behavioral issues and no one thought was fixable. He told the boy, quote, "You will change, and your conscious mind won't have anything to do with it." End quote. He went and fixed that boy. Crazy, yeah? These talking story sessions made you change in a profound way as it did me. What I need from you is your story. It can be about smoking, but chances are you have a story that is even bigger and better. Somebody from this talking story about smoking hui will hear it and it will change their life. The only caveat is I need you to come to me with the date you quit and that all the Salvina molesta is clear. You need to clear at least 3 weeks from your date to come tell me your story. Imagine your story gonna be heard from everybody from this little hui we created. And that story gonna be heard from your kids, your grandkids, and maybe even your great grandkids. You're leaving them something that can change the course of their whole life. I told you about this guy I met when I first worked from Intercom for Manpower with the temp agency. There was another guy that was subcontract to work as a temp. I remember he said he owned 100,000 plus scarab boat. Anyway, he sold his software company for 12 mil and is back at work with me because he got married 3 times and gave half his money away 3 times. Now, he had to come back to work to get his way back up to the top. Besides him teaching me not to get married 3 times and divorced 3 times, that's like watching money double 3 times except the opposite way. He told me this. Zaldi, you know what sells faster than crack cocaine? Software. I'm telling you, Junior, you know what sells faster than software? Stories. Use this triumph as coattails, and all you gotta do is hold on. It will gravitate you to a story even more powerful than the stories I told you. The Portuguese lives in you. I don't just want to hear your story, I want to pimp it. I'll pimp your story with the best of my ability. Pimp, wheel and deal, trade, promote, whatever, the kind. All same anyways. Your story needs to be heard and it needs to be heard now. Myron Golden also said this. You get so worried about how you look, sound, feel. You have somebody out there that needs your story now. Actually, yesterday. Like I said in the last session, you are expiring. Expiring. The opportunity for you to tell your story is expiring. Every second you alive and breathing is going to expire. Just like that milk, cheese in your fridge, like that spices, medicine in your cabinet. Just like this opportunity for you to make an impact, leave a legacy, that is expiring. We're all going make and be pushing daisies. Get your story to me. At the very least, share with all of us what you and Princess Puanani made because of quitting smoking. Whether it be something like singing, getting in shape, playing instrument, surfing, whatever. I'll pimp that too. I guarantee you that you will motivate at least one of us in this group. That is why it is important to like, subscribe to this so you get updates. Here is a chance to leave a legacy behind. As we close, I remember a coworker I work with in the real estate title industry. Her name is Carla. She told me many moons ago, Zaldi, one day you're going to do something important. I can tell you're going to be somebody important. You know what I say? Carla, if you out there, you the important one. You need to quit smoking too, and I can't wait to hear your story. That paper I submitted for my computer science capstone was reviewed by my good friend and mentor Joaquin. He told me I need to not stop. He can't wait for me to keep writing. 3 years ago, I got a call from Thomas, who used to work for me, and he told me he took the same capstone classes I did. He saw that my paper is now an example for others to follow for their capstone. Thank you, Joaquin and Thomas. I'll pimp your story too. This concludes session 26 and the whole talking story about smoking sessions. I've been wanting to do a whole teaching session on what I call any kind that kind. That is the one that actually convicted me to start this whole talking session. Except, Junior, when I called you and I asked you if you're still smoking, you said, kind of. Right there, I stopped my whole work on any kind that kind session and steered all my attention and efforts to here. Talking story about smoking. Now that we are complete, I have any kind that kind next, and plenty more coming behind. If you already donated and spanked that button, great. Feel free to spank them some more. But if you didn't, I want to reframe it for you. How much was these talking story about smoking sessions worth to you? If I saved you over $150,000 throughout your life, and save you thousands of hours, enough for you for study, and go to class, enough for you to be a doctor, here is your chance to make it right. I trust you're going to invest in something that is going to give you more than you imagine. So, spank that link, https://buymeacoffee.com/surfosnow in the description below, and also hit like, subscribe, notifications, whatever. Spank them because you want to show your appreciation and believe in this work. Chee-hoo! Choo! Choo! So with that, my brother Junior, ahui ho. Okay then.